one of the most cinematic movies of our generation is Dune. Nobody can fight me on that. If you really think about it, the concept of it is very flip-flop. They shot it on digital, ARRI, Alexa, LF, large format, and mini LF, as opposed to what Nolan does, shooting everything on IMAX, shooting it on film, doing everything practically, whereas Dune, there's a lot of VFX. Greg Fraser is known for lighting the entire set with LEDs, so he has more flexibility and he doesn't have to chase sunset and blah, blah, blah. Then how come this movie looks as cinematic as Lawrence of Arabia? And let me tell you why. You probably don't know this, but Dune Part One, they shot it on Alexa LF and Mini LF, but they actually did the color correction, the base grade, if you will. Then they kicked it out to print it on film, Kodak 5254. The ISO on that film is 1. It is literally a DI film negative. It is not your regular film negative. They ran it through the chemical process and then scanned it out to digital to finish it off. What did they achieve during this process? They actually took the sharpness off that you just get in digital that is really hard to shake off. They got actual, really, really fine film grain. Like I said, I mean, the ISO on the film is actually 1, like not 100, but 1. So they got really, really fine grain that you can actually see on an IMAX screen. And that's why even if you watch it on a TV in 4K, it's not that it's compressed or anything like that. It actually barely has any grain. It's very fine grain. Because the idea behind it was it's a sci-fi film. It's not a period piece. So they're not going for a grungy image. They're going for a very pristine, clean image that still has weight. It also gave the footage color density that happens when film goes through the emulsion process. It also has halation now embedded inside the footage, and it has a little bit of movement because anytime film is going through the gate, there's going to be a little bit of movement that happens. Again, it just softens the entire image. It adds all the photochemical imperfections that we love and call cinematic. We still gravitate towards it. And I think the main reason is it's organic. It's not perfect. It's not mathematical. It's photochemical. And there's some magic to that. So what I want to do in this tutorial is go beyond one step. So we're not even taking a digital footage from a bad camera. We're actually taking the worst type of footage. Look at this. We're actually taking an AI image. We're taking AI footage. Everybody's probably puking their guts out. A lot of people are just like exiting out of the video. Well, you're missing out. Because what's even harder to make look good or cinematic? Footage that is real or a footage that's not even real? So I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to take something that is just obviously digital. It's glossy, it's plastic. I mean, there's no texture on the leg. Like, it's so openly fake, and that is a huge movement right now. People that are just kind of turned off by AI, it's because it's missing that like little piece. It's missing that piece to make it feel real. And I genuinely feel like a lot of us initially were freaking out. AI is going to take our jobs. I think it's going to create a lot of opportunity because people are going to be hiring people, because companies are just not going to spend a lot of money on productions, because that's where the real money goes. It's very easy to not spend $200,000 on a shoot, but easily spend $5,000 for one day on a colorist to make something look really, really good, even if it's AI generated. I'm not putting ideas in anybody's head. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. That's just where we're headed. So let's take this shot, okay? And we can even play it through. Let me just play it through and look at how, look at how digital this looks. I mean, this is the epitome of a digital shot. There's not a single speck of grain on here. So when I'm seeing this and when I'm picturing movies like The Batman, where Greg Fraser literally is putting Vaseline on the edges of the lens to make it imperfect, so we get like this beautiful like vignette, like blurry vignette, and it also darkens the image just about right. Again, because it's a physical, practical effect that happened, it is very organic. It can't be replicated so easily. I mean, until you use your boy's tool, then it can, and we're gonna get into it. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. But that, adding grain, adding halation, like all those photochemically imperfect parts injecting into your footage to make it that much less sterile. Just like what Dune went through to end up being the greatest the greatest looking movie of our generation. So I'm going to do this, okay? You can pick your poison. I'm just going to be using two separate tools. I'm going to start with RapidGrade because there's just nothing better to show you what we're trying to go for than this particular tool right here. So I'm going to drop this on. And the first thing that we're going to do, by the way, there's going to be a link in the description. You know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to drop a link to the trial if you guys want to test it out. So trial is free. It's just going to have watermark, but you can like really play around with it, get a sense for it. So it's going to be in the description. Usually I don't give out trials for it, but I'm going to throw that in there. And people that are interested, it comes with a 7-day money back guarantee. I mean, I'll just say go buy it because it is so much better to have a full version than like a restricted version. And if you don't like it, get your money back. Like it's just simple as that. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to change this to Rec 709, my color space primaries, because this is Rec 709 already converted. Transfer function is going to be Rec 709 OETF. Okay. So nothing is changing, right? Which means looking good. So now what I want to do is I want to just scroll all the way down and I want to click on this right here. Enable film traits. We have an entire section to do that. And obviously, for the sake of YouTube and the compression that happens, I'm going to have to exaggerate. So don't think that this is what I do on everything for client projects and everything like that. But for you guys to like really see the nuances, we're just going to have to exaggerate. Simple as that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. It's made of these different elements, and that's exactly what's happening when your digital footage is actually printed on film and going through the chemical process, bleach bypass. That's one of the effects that will take place, right? So like silverish highlights, it's going to go through that. So we have that there. Color density, I mentioned that, right? So the color are going to pick up some weight. That is happening right here that we can do. Subtractive saturation, which we have right here, which we call film saturation. And we're going to play with it a little bit to see like what that is doing. And then we have film grain, and this grain is very different than your traditional grain. So your traditional grain inside Resolve, let's just go here. Let's type in grain right here. Let's drop that on. And again, I'm going to push it really hard so you guys can actually see the difference. 8mm 500T. Okay, look at this. I punch in, and this is just caked on. Look at this. This is caked on. It's not doing anything to the footage. Whereas in reality, when you have heavy grain, it actually softens your image. Whereas here, it is just like, it's nothing. It's on top of it. And this is garbage. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go here. And now when we turn this on, this grain, look at something very different is happening. Like, look at how it's actually changing the shape of his hand because it's softening up the image. So I'm going to go under film grain. And I'm going to crank it all the way so you guys can see it. So we're going to go to 16mm. Like, look at this. It's like even the areas in the back, it's moving them. And you can now see, like, look at this. It's actually living, like it's adding a little glow right here. Like, look at this. Because it's just getting inside of it and living inside of your footage instead of like on top of your footage. And look at the difference that we're seeing. All of a sudden, it just looks like an Adidas commercial. Okay. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to go to halation and we're going to do 16mm. And we should be able to see that here, just on the edges. Okay. I mean, again, we can like really, really crank the intensity to see it if we want to. And you saw like what the grain was doing, how it's softening all of this, because the other grain is not going to do that. Like, look at what this is doing. Okay. And that's what I mean. So let's just say we keep our halation to that. Okay. And we go now to our diffusion. And I'm going to choose fog. The reason why I'm choosing fog is because most of the stadiums do have a lot of fog. So let's turn that on. Let's leave it there. And this is the perfect time to now actually go and choose a film negative along with a film print concoction. So we're going to go under curves. And if I go right here, and if I select Kodak 5219 with, if we're printing it on 2383, look what happens. 3, 2, 1. Look at this punch that it just added into our footage. Now we can go in our midtones and kind of crank it back if we want to, or we can just like leave the punch kind of as is because it just looks really, really pretty. Okay. So this is where we're at, right? Now we can do a few other things. We can actually go under split tone, turn this on. look at this, right? When digital footage is being printed on 5254, it has its own characteristics. Depending on where the exposure is sitting, every hue is going to shift around that exposure. And those things are going to happen. So that's why film just unapologetically has so much color separation. Now we have that happening, keeping the entire film process in mind. Now, if we just go right here in our global adjustment, let's just say we go, maybe we want to warm it up a little bit. We want to add that like film green, right? That Alexa green. Like, look at where we are already. We're just making all film related adjustments. What if, like usually with film, especially Kodak film, you know how much punch your skin gets, right? So I'm going to do this and just watch what happens. Okay, so let's park it right here. Okay, look at the dirt, look at his skin. I'm going to go under pop skin and I'm going to crank it like that. And look how it's becoming three-dimensional. And I'm going to take density of my skin and I'm going to like do this. Like this is the real magic. Like, look at this. Like what I'm going to do before and after, before the skin adjustment, after the skin adjustment. Just look at this, what we're doing. And now we can do the same thing with our film density in here. We can take our yellows and greens and like, look at what we can do with that. Like, look at how much personality we're just pumping, and it's just that simple and it's that easy. And then to top it all off, we can go in our lens effect, and this is where we can have that Batman, or like, look at this. We can have like Shogun. So this is like mimicking Shogun, and my editor will throw some imagery from Shogun and you can see it. You know, new season of House of the Dragon, they're going crazy with this effect. It's just so meta right now because it's so hot. Because look at this, like now my eye goes straight to my guy. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm going straight to him, right? It's so freaking cool. And don't forget where we started. We started with this image. This is where we are. Look at the actual, like, look at this, dude, with this grain, like how he got embedded into this footage. Like he belongs. Look at this. He belongs into that image. Look at the lights in the back. Like, look at all the separation that got created. Oh my God. Like, look, what? This is what I'm talking about. Understanding this. Like, you really think that if we were to do this, let's just say, I mean, the shot is not 360 and doing all of this, right? Like, it's just normal. It's supposed to be real. And then I grade it like that. You think you're really going to be able to spot like any issues? I mean, I'm sure some keyboard ninja is typing right now. And of course he can spot a difference. Good for you. So you're one of 8 billion people. But most of us, if you develop this skill, and more importantly, that taste, that understanding, asking the right question, trying to do the right thing, if you get there, imagine how much more valuable you're going to be. We're not done yet, okay? Now I'm going to just go into a new node. I'm going to type in film look creator, and I'm going to drop that on. It does this. We don't want to do that. So we're going to go all the way up here, and we're going to say clean slate. And if I do before and after, and if you look at my vector scope, nothing is happening. That's exactly what I want. Why? For this reason only. I want to go in my flicker. I want to turn that on. I want to go in my gate weave. I want to turn that on. I want to go in my film gate. I want to turn, no, I don't want to turn that on. Gate weave and flicker. Done. Those simple little imperfections, photochemical imperfections that I want to add to my image to make it living, breathing thing. Let's play it. Feel this. Are you freaking kidding me? Feel this image. Now, let's get rid of it and play it. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special that's happening here. We're just like looking at the greats, people that are making movies like Dune, and we're just trying to like be a little bit like them. We're just trying to like get in the kitchen and experiment. What can we take from the greats? And how can we implement some of that and see where we can end up? And I think if you did that for me, I'll be very proud of you. I think this is really cool. It has nothing to do with like, oh my God, Qazi, you know, you got mad skills or blah, blah. Like, this is not about that. This is just about, you saw like throughout this entire process, the entire video, discovering what happened. And then I'm getting in here and I'm trying to just go, how about this? How about that? Oh, they also did this, or this also happens. Having just the right amount of knowledge to know what that process is and what it actually adds. And then how can we carefully craft that inside Resolve without spending millions of dollars and actually printing our AI footage and then scanning it onto film and then back into Resolve. How can we, mere mortals, get somewhere in that vicinity and end up with something that is genuinely putting a smile on my face? I mean, it's just, it's good. It's exciting. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Drop a comment below if you have any specific ideas on future videos that we should do. If you guys want to try RapidGrade, I mean, you guys just got to see the demo of this tool. There's just nothing else like it. And I just barely touched it. There's like a trillion benefits to this tool. And without getting into the features and benefits, just look at this on the screen, like the kind of results people are getting, going from spending days to hours to develop their looks and actually getting paid. And look at the companies that these users work for. So this is a tried and tested tool now becoming the most essential part of many professionals' workflow. So you should definitely try it. 7-day money back guarantee. Plus, if you're watching it on YouTube for a limited time, you're going to get a special offer that disappears randomly. So you should click and check it out. I will see you guys in the next one. Much love. Peace, fam.